Hi guys, hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily, Monday motivation. Who's ready to attack a brand new week? Of course, Des here. Just out and about in the miserable Monday weather. But it's important to get those steps up. Film DOdaily, that's the main reason. I've actually been on a really good walk this afternoon, and that was much needed. I'll explain more about that, and also what I really want to talk about after giving the first week of the year a real good go with those New Year's targets, resolutions, habits, whichever way you want to look at it. Working on them, trying to find the best way to take them forward. What I want to discuss is ways we could almost add a little bit of flexibility, to ensure when it's not quite working, as it didn't for me at every point last week. I think I stuck to most things pretty well, but to find ways where we can just add a little bit of flexibility to make sure that we can just move these targets about slightly so we don't get too disheartened should everything not go to plan, or if something gets in the way we can just sort of work it so we go again. I touched on the fact right at the start there that not really feeling it today. First day in a very, very long time. I always say I want to be honest, I want to let you know how I'm feeling when it's not so good. Been riding this wave of enthusiasm, excitement for big forthcoming plans, but today just kind of feeling it a little bit. I have spent a lot of time with others, supporting them, talking to them about one or two things, dealing with a few issues, so getting quite deep, and perhaps with a little bit too much drink last night, and I'll come back to that as well. A little bit too much drink. I just woke up feeling a little bit anxious. Went to work, wasn't quite feeling it. A little bit sort of thinking too much about what people were saying and doing. And it's just something that I realise I have to nip in the bud. So this morning I got up. When I got home from work, I went for a 7-mile walk. Joined a friend for part of it, did a little bit on my own, grabbed a soft drink, watched a bit of football, and I feel much better for it. I want to go again now, I feel like I'm getting back to where I want to be. But the reality is, if I'd not done those things, it'd have been really, really tough today, and it might have even gone into tomorrow. Hopefully, after a good night's rest, some sleep, I'll feel much better. I'm really rearing to go for Tuesday training. Always like to get that activity in early. Like I say, today it was as important as ever. A good long walk. I mentioned a few times in the past few months that when I do that on a Monday, I like to get a run in on top of that sometimes, but when I get a good long afternoon walk, it can really set me up for the week, and I'm hoping it just does the trick. Last week, like I say, was intense in terms of the targets, the new habits, trying to get up early, not eat meat, not drinking, all those things I had to think about. Like I say, spending time with others, dealing with their things, but there was lots of good stuff in there as well. Went to the football yesterday, absolutely brilliant. Forest beat Arsenal in the FA Cup. Love the FA Cup, love Forest of course. When we beat a big team like that, it creates a great feeling, and that's fantastic. Well, around that, I had my first drinks of 2022, and I'm not beating myself up about that. Whilst I'm looking to sort of really kick in and with a health kick, this is where the flexibility comes in. What I've said to myself, rather than stop drinking and then when I go back to it, sort of go hard and just do it when I want to, I'm almost allowing myself 3 occasions to enjoy a drink. And what I want to do is almost build them around big occasions. Yesterday, as a Forest fan, beating Arsenal was a huge occasion, so it's important for me to celebrate it. And I woke up this morning, and the one thing I don't feel guilty about is actually having a drink, because it's one of my 3, probably a third of the way through the month. I've got no set times I plan to do it, but it's almost about changing my relationship with drink. I've not got a problem, don't get me wrong, but when I'm working to this target, rather than sort of completely stop myself. In the past I've gone 100 days, 30 days, dry January, all things I know I'm capable of. But this one just offers me that bit of opportunity and a bit of spontaneity, doesn't it? When I want to do something, I can. Of course, if I went and did it all in 3 days, I'd have to go on a sort of dry January session. But it's been 10 days now, like I say, got 1 or 2 things lined up for later in the month. So they just sort of map themselves out. And it's also something to really, really look forward to. Whilst it's important to set big targets, things that you're going to have to work really hard to, just talking about that bit of flexibility. In the past I've done lots of streaks around this time of year, running streaks, activity streaks, and they're great too. But again, just 1 or 2 days off can make the world a difference. It can reignite that enthusiasm for it, the passion you have in it, get you motivated. It's tough at this time of year, and I think it's key not to beat yourself up too much. The way I was feeling when I finished work, I didn't want to really go for a walk. I completely forgot that I'd arranged to meet a friend. But again, that accountability means I have to. I was out there doing exactly what I needed to do. And again, it's helping me sort of master these targets as we go. Getting out on a Monday, doing activity. From doing the activity, my mood improves, my decision making improves. I did that drink yesterday, and whilst I'm not eating meat, which is one of my stricter targets in January, not eating meat at all, something I tried last year and felt really good for it. I nearly cracked, but there was something within me because I'd had a drink. I was feeling good about Forest, I was feeling good about myself, not beating myself up, not berating myself too much. In the past I would have just gone and had a Mackey's or a meaty pizza, but I stopped myself, I fancied that, because again, we all make bad decisions when we've had one too many. But for me personally, last night, I got to a situation where I thought about it, really tempted, and then stopped myself. And that just shows that progress is coming, doesn't it? So all I'm sort of encouraging today, guys, through this, is just think about how sometimes you can just allow yourself that little treat. You've got to make sure that treat doesn't become an entitlement you think you deserve because you've done this, that and the other. Because we work so hard at times when it comes to activity, weight loss, getting fit, self-development, all these things. It's so easy to cave in. So for me, one big night is not going to ruin it. Don't feel guilty about it because it's still within what I set myself, and it's still quite a strict target to hit, regardless of the fact that some people don't drink. It's part of what I do, it's part of football, it's part of my social circle. I'd love to be somebody who didn't drink at all, but that one in particular, it just shows how we can be a little bit more flexible. That's the biggest example of the weekend. And like I say, what it did do today, and what I am realising is whilst I am allowing myself to do it, there's always the chance that it sort of heightens that anxiety, makes me feel rubbish, but by not feeling guilty about it, I gave myself every chance to get over it, do the things I need to do, make the right choices, get out, do that afternoon walk. It was grey, it was gloomy, but it did the trick. I can now look back at my recording apps and see how many miles I've done and realise that I've never missed a Monday. My biggest kind of mantra, why I always say, especially at this time of year, don't be defined by the calendar. This one is really important to me because if I get out there and get that walk in, I'm absolutely flying. And that's all I really want to say. Get your activity in today, guys. With those targets, make them accountable. Put some sort of time, number, figure on it, make it measurable, but also make it so there's a little bit room to maneuver. Because when we don't do that, if we don't make the measurable, we'll probably just give up. If we've got no room to manoeuvre, when we fail, we feel like we're a complete failure, and we'll probably give up. If you give yourself that little bit of room, that little bit of opportunity. Remember, this is all about making small changes, small improvements. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, we're not trying to change the world. We're just trying to change ourselves that little bit every single day to make ourselves a little bit more positive, a little bit more enthusiastic, enjoy and love the things we do, and just take it forward into the next. And that's all I'm doing today, taking it forward by allowing myself to be excited by the football and everything that happened there. Celebrate it. It's a big occasion. What I'm trying to do is restrict myself, whether it's food, drink, missing my activity, restrict myself to the smallest amounts I can, and then when I do it or do miss it, I really enjoy the fact that I've got it in, and that's what it's about, isn't it? It's just enjoying the fact, embracing how we can take things forward, and giving it a real go. So until tomorrow, guys, like I say, I hope I'm feeling a lot better, feeling a lot more on top of things. But I'm okay, because I've got out there, I've done what I have to do, and now I've done DOdaily. So that pleases me. I'm going to watch more FA Cup football. Kay will be bemoaning me, but it'll round things off nicely. Until that Tuesday training, make sure if you can, you still get out. There's a few hours left today. Doesn't matter if it's raining, never miss a Monday. Keep reaching out for those goals. Just doing it.